On Bulls TV and the Bulls Radio Network, it's a pleasure to be joined by John Paxson. And here we are at Paxson, the waiting few remaining games of the season. I thought maybe it'd be a good time for maybe a state of the ball club. And obviously you put your heart and soul, as a lot of front office employees have done over the past year, to put this ball club together in your future and your vision. So what were the expectations going into the season? And maybe you can take us through the year from your perspective.
Well, you know, the expectations were that we were going to be a real young basketball team and really didn't know what to expect. And we've had a disjointed year in a lot of ways, with the incident to begin the season with Bobby and Nico, and then a lot of injuries where we really haven't had all of our players together for much during the course of the season. I think Zach and Lowry and Chris Dunn have only played 12 games together so far this year. So that's the one part that you wish could have been more fluid for us, where we would have had them out there playing together, because that's such a big part of our future. But to be very honest with you, we knew this was going to be a rebuilding year. I thought there were stretches where we played very well and had some consistency to us when our rotations were more solid and more consistent. It's all been about development of our young guys. I think that when you look at the fact that Lowry Markkanen got a great opportunity as a rookie and has really shown that he's got a bright future. A couple of our guys like Bobby Portis and Denzel Valentine off the bench have shown that they are legitimate NBA players that are going to provide us with stuff in the future. So in a lot of ways it's been good, and we've had to be patient. It's you never like to lose, and you don't want that type of environment for your players. But for right now, we understand where we're at, and it's all about development and now looking towards what we can do over the summer.
The core, Pax, take us through Markkanen, Dunn, and Levine and what they've given you and where you expect them to go.
Well, that's going to be a big part of our future, is where they go. A lot of that is on us to provide them with the resources to become better players. A lot of it's on them to put the time in. I guess the exciting thing is that when you look at all three of them, you see great opportunity for growth. Let's just take Zach first off. Zach is a wonderful athlete, great shooter, quick with the ball, can play in the open court, and he's just coming back off the ACL, and he's had some inconsistent time now with that he's been out, but he showed some real flashes where, when he does come back fully healthy, another off season of training and strengthening his knee, that provides excitement for us. As far as Chris Dunn, I think when we got Chris, he had lost a lot of his swagger and confidence. And when he got into the season, he had a few little setbacks, his finger, but it really forced him to earn his position as that starting point guard. And when he did, all of a sudden he started to blossom. Now he has great room for improvement. The area that Chris is going to have to develop most of all, I think, is his finishing at the rim. He's become very good at finding little pockets where he can get his mid-range shot and getting to the basket, but his percentage in finishing at the rim has to improve. But to me, that's something that can improve as long as you practice hard, the coaching staff works with you on that skill, and you continue to improve your body and your confidence. So that, from his standpoint, that's encouraging. And as far as Lowry, I don't think any of us could sit here and tell you that we thought he would be this mature for a young player and play with such poise. And again, he's got a big summer ahead of him. This is going to be as important a training year for him as there will ever be in the league. He's got to create that base to his strength and his body. The one thing Lowry's going to have to improve upon is maybe some quicker movements out of isolation, footwork that he can use to his advantage as a player at his size. So just those three, just talking about them, their room for growth is so large, and they're still young players. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 1 year, but they're going to need to improve over the summer significantly for us to be better.
Actually, coaching in this league is very, very tough. So give us an understanding of what you saw of the staff this year.
Well, I think they did a really good job. From training camp where, it was the right focus and energy. We had all these new faces. We had the two veterans in Rolo and Justin that were kind of our core in terms of leadership. And I think the coaches really got our guys to buy into just coming every day and working hard regardless of the record. And we got off to the really bad start, 3-20, but our guys were working every day, and the coaches were too. So I thought that was good for for our culture. Now, as we've gone down the stretch and we've made some decisions to give our young guys more significant minutes, it's hurt some things overall, just in terms of you're still out there trying to fight and win, but it's been hard for some of our guys, and we get that. But we have to continue to look long term, and in looking long term, this is a great opportunity for guys like Noah Vonleh, Chris Felicio. We just signed a young man in Sean Kilpatrick who we want to see have a role. So and David Nwaba, who we've had all year long, who's played a significant role for us. So it's an opportunity for guys to play. We need to see that so we can make the correct evaluations when we make decisions this summer.
So, Pax, as you know, a large contingent of Bulls fans want the Bulls to get the #1 pick. And we know it's not that easy, obviously. The lottery, we have no idea what's going to happen come May. Having said that, when you look to the future, are you looking at, depending where you pick, at the best player available, or what is your mindset going into a draft?
Well, I think, we've done our, I guess what you would call our preliminary draft work in terms of going out and seeing all the college games and then international players all year long. When the season ends and we get into real draft preparation, when you start kind of filtering through background and you start talking to a lot of people, you start bringing the players into your facility and getting to know them and watch them, that's really when you tighten up your order and that type of thing. We've always been, for the most part, going for the best player available, but you never want to pigeonhole yourself into that type of thing. So I think no matter what happens, we're going to have a very good pick in this draft. We feel we've done well. I mean, last year, Lauri Markkanen was the 7th pick in the draft, so we feel like we got a terrific prospect in Lauri at that position. This is for us, we've mentioned it many times, it's going to be a process of continuing to build, and we can't rush it. All of our decisions will be based on, does that player fit our style? Does he fit our culture? Does he fit kind of the time frame that we have? And I think as long as we stay true to that, we'll make the right decisions and we can continue to build this thing. I think, again, one of the things that's encouraging for us, if we can come back after this offseason healthy and devoted and determined to be a really good team, if our guys have taken the steps that they need to take in terms of their work and getting better as players, then it's really encouraging. And knowing that we're going to add some young pieces to that this summer, it's exciting what we could be.
All right, just 2 other questions. I appreciate it very much, Paxson. I know our viewers and listeners are as well. I want to talk a little about yourself. 3 decades with the Bulls, and anytime you are building, it's tough, and I realize that. Has this been an enjoyable year for you, not from the standpoints of wins and losses, but to see how you're developing a foundation and a new culture?
I think what's been exciting is that last year we made the trade for Jimmy Butler, which was difficult. We had defined our direction for the first time since we had Derek, and Derek was healthy. And when that all happened with him, and then we just kind of were trying to stay relevant and plug holes, and it's why we made some of the personnel decisions we made based on some of those things we were facing. But this has been the first time we've kind of reset everything. And so, yeah, it has been enjoyable from the standpoint of watching our young guys play and develop, gain some confidence in their abilities. And again, I probably haven't spoken enough about Bobby Portis. I think he's a player that, as much as anyone this year, has found himself. And it's a testament to him because in the last couple of years since we've had him, he's always been one of the guys in the gym all summer long working, and it's nice to see that happen. It kind of is a symbol for our other guys coming up that, hey, if you do what this young man has done, you can be this type of player. So it has been enjoyable for that standpoint, but no one likes to lose, and we do not want this to be a long process of getting back to the playoffs. You've seen it too many times in the league where teams are out of the playoffs 4, 5, 6, 7 straight years, and our goal when we did trade Jimmy was to get a head start on a rebuild by getting those 3 very good young players, and so that's what makes this exciting.
All right, final question, Pax. And this is your platform, this is your forum as you're reaching viewers and fans around the globe. What is your message to Bulls fans? What would you like them to take out as we approach the 2018-19 season?
Well, I would say to our fans that we knew what we were embarking upon when we started the rebuild. I believe that their patience will be rewarded given time. I can only speak to when I came in 2003. It was a little similar. We had been out of the playoffs for 5 years. We made a couple of pretty good decisions in the draft and free agency, and all of a sudden we were back competing. And we did that with high character guys for the most part and toughness as a basketball team. I think if you're going to ask me one thing of what I expect more of in terms of this team going forward is some real toughness, some guys that can, stand up through adversity and fight through it. We've had guys like that in the past. So I think our fans, if they hang with us, watch how these young guys grow, they'll be rewarded for their patience. I'm very confident of that.
We appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Appreciate it.